Well, good morning, afternoon, wherever you are at in this world. It is another great episode with Roxy B. Rocker of Embracing What's Possible. And boy, do I have a guest for you today. The OG over here, the owner, the experience, the vision of Prospera Network that we are on. And, I've known this woman for now almost 4 years. And, the heart center, the um, joy, the God experience, the just heart and goodness that she has. She's a go getter. She goes after things, she plans things, she makes things happen. And I've been praying a lot lately and just asking Spirit to show me who do I need to bring on the show. And I realized so much recently that I love this because I want to bring on leaders, people, human beings, because I think everyone might have gone through a disability experience, or maybe they're just disability curious. And so my company is embracing disability, and this is what's possible with embracing what's possible with Roxy. So it's really about curiosity, education, and continuing our way around a whole topic that a lot of people fear or misunderstood or very confused. And I'm going to take us on journeys to unravel that confusion, disconnect all that fear and misunderstanding that it's a scary or a dirty word or an ugly word when it's a word that's in society that we all have to live with. And boy, I've lived it my entire life. Falling down, being broken, hurting heads, confused on why my legs hurt and wobble all the time. At least I don't fall as much. But I want to introduce you to this great human. And I cannot wait for us to have a dialogue about God, about disability, about life, about why this Prospera Network even exists and what we're doing and what we're up to. Elena Rodriguez, my guest today, and our inspiration and vision for this network. Welcome!
Yay! Hello. Thanks so much for having me,
Oh,
beautiful Roxy. I love that I am here as a guest on your show today.
for episode number 5.
Woo-hoo. 5-5. Hard to
Oh,
believe, isn't it? It goes
oh,
fast.
it goes so fast. I mean, wait until I do episode 25,
There you go. I love it.
right? Hmm. Tell us about yourself and tell us why Prospera Network.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's just say I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I mean, I have been an entrepreneur my whole life. I think as an adult, I actually only worked in a corporate leadership position for 4 years. Other than that, I have always done my own thing. And, one of the hardest things, my soft spot is for small business, is for those that are called to more. Let me put it that way. When you're called to more, it doesn't necessarily mean you know what to do. And I know that's a really hard place. It's a hard place. And that's why everything that I do focuses on getting people seen in their calling, whatever that calling is. The hardest thing to do is get seen in front of
Yeah.
people. And here we are, we're getting seen, right? Yes, that's just my sweet spot. And so, being a coach, being my path, I thought was going to be executive leadership development. I thought I was going to put my suit on every day and carry my briefcase and go into my corporate office and do executive coaching. And God kind of laughed at me and said, "Nice try, but that's not what I have you here for." And so it's been many years, basically my own beatdown, my own breakdown, my own life crumbling beneath me is what has us here. And I have built a lot in the past 5 years. And this final piece of Prospera TV Network, God said, protect it. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really know what I was creating. I just said, okay, like everything else, okay, I'm going to walk in faith. I'm going to do what I do. And here we are coming up on 20 show hosts and 17 countries, and all I know is I'm protecting it, and I'm just really helping people do something that maybe they never thought that they would ever be able to do. So.
It's funny, Elena, that about 4.5 years ago, somebody was talking about a network and having your own show, and it was ridiculously expensive and didn't seem to have much of a heartbeat. And it just was like, yeah, you can have your own show, and yeah, but wasn't clear on like what that message was. Wasn't clear if like my disabilities were going to even be supported or protected in it. It wasn't clear if I was going to even have help.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to say thank you because I feel supported, I feel protected, I feel assisted, but I don't feel that you're trying to take over. You know, you know, it's interesting. I've been having some dialogues, but I'm curious to know what your background is, what your experiences have been, and what do you know about disability? What do you even know about me talking about my own disabilities when everything about mine are hidden?
You know, I haven't really known much about disabilities. Okay. I have a son that's autistic, and it took me a long time to even understand that.
Mm.
Looking back, he probably was his whole childhood, and I just didn't know. Right. And
Mhm.
so now that he's an adult and that he's done a lot of his own research, and he's done a lot of the work, I realized things about me
Mhm.
that I've adapted to. Like, I just adapted to them. Nobody was
Mhm.
there teaching me anything. So I don't really know a whole lot.
Mhm.
I think the commonplace that people go when they hear disability, they envision a wheelchair
Mhm.
or some physical
Mhm.
thing going on, and not other stuff. And so,
Right.
for me, very honest, I don't really know a whole lot, but I do know that I've met people that I know have disabilities that you can't see on the outside.
Mhm.
And I've just always embraced people for who they are. So it's like, there have been times where sometimes people will shoot back with like short, punchy answers, or like you
Mhm.
almost could feel like attitude or take defense, but it's just
Mhm.
their approach.
Right.
It's just how, and even my son is like that. There's
Mhm.
not a lot of emotion at times, and
Mhm.
you just learn that I'm trying to understand what you're saying there, and not to take things personal all the time.
Mhm.
But I realize that there's things that I got going on too, and I never really looked into
Mhm.
learning what qualifies as a disability. Like, if is autoimmune, when your body aches, is that a disability? Because I got that. Is there, so to be honest, like, not really a whole lot. But so I love the conversation, and
Right.
I love that what we're doing with the network is giving you freedom. It's your show, it's your voice, it's your message. And so, we make it pretty, but it's freedom for you to do with it what you want, and that's the beauty of it, because I think a lot of people are learning a lot
Oh, that's
by your
beautiful.
show.
Oh, I sure hope so.
Mhm.
The ADA says that you either were born and or there's a medical record of some kind of disability. And a lot of times it's like learning, physical, mental, cognitive. So there's all these things, on there that the ADA says are the specific types of disability. And if you have a medical record or some level of a record, you might be somebody with a disability. And then for every single group or every single agency or every single thing, there's a different criteria, right?
Mhm.
So we wouldn't know this because I'm Roxy and I talk a lot and I have a lot of things to say. But on an IQ test, a cognitive one, it shows that I have a very, very low cognitive IQ of like 70, and I have like an extremely high verbal IQ of like 100 something, top, something. And so I have this record at school. I have this record on medical records that state that I have these diagnoses, disability. But guess what? I don't qualify for Social Security. Guess what? I don't qualify for DDS. Guess what? I don't qualify for half of the things that are out there that I could possibly qualify for.
Yeah.
You know what I do qualified for and I have used for my lifetime is vocational rehabilitation, which is a program that if you want to go to work, get a job, maybe if you're lucky, they understand it, start a business if they understand it. It's a window. It's very complex for them to even understand, hey, I have a disability and I want to be a business owner. They're like, what?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like,
They
that's
probably immediately write that off. Like that's a crazy idea.
yeah, like that's like not gonna happen. Like, why would
Yeah.
you do that?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that sounds like too much. So they're always wanting to like settle it down, even though that they're the leaders and they're the ones that are supposedly holding our hands and trying. But even when they're looking for work, they lower you down.
Yes.
So in the world of disability, it gets lowered down and watered down. Oh, you can't do that. Oh God, why would you even want to? Don't you? And so a lot of times when I tell them all the things that I'm up to, they're like, what? It sounds like you're insanely busy. It sounds like you really are doing a lot. And I said, sure, I am. I said, but do you want to know why it makes me easy and makes it look easy? I said, because I've hired people that I think are quality in my life.
Yeah.
And I build the relationships and foundations with them and foster those relationships so I can hold my hand, and your hand and my hand because it's a relationship.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
it doesn't have anything to do with my disability. It has to be, I want a relationship with you because I think you and I might have value for one another.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, you're so busy. And I'm like, well, they're my reasonable accommodations.
There you
Like,
go.
I hire a marketing person.
Yep.
I'll hire a strategic person. I'll hire Elena to help me with the big building blocks of this show because I don't know how to produce it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think a lot of us could benefit from actually hiring the people to help where it's needed. I mean, I don't think anyone, regardless, knows everything.
No.
I think it was John Maxwell. I'm John Maxwell, like certified, and so years ago, I think that it was in one of his talks or something where he let us know like you're really only good at like 3 or 4 things. And
Right.
out of like the 15 to 20 things that need done, like you're really only good at a few of them. So focus on those things and get the other people that are good at those other things to do those things, and I think that we accomplish much more when we actually reach out and partner with people. So
Well, and the funny thing is I'm putting out there something for a photographer right now. I did it today, right? And I'm like, hey, I have some funding. I want to hire a photographer. This photographer would be could become sponsored, could build a nice fostering relationship with us. And of course, the people who don't understand disability went right to, oh, you should hire the special needs photographer. Do you know that all of my photographers are regular, everyday branding photographers? Have nothing to do with disability, but because I'm talking about disability, now I have to only have that relationship with the disability project.
wow.
Because we're projects, we're not people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
projects. So, I want to uplift, I want to bring about, I want to work on my stuff. But why do I have to only go to the disabled thing over there? Because, she'll relate to me. But I'm a disability advocate. I can teach you whatever you want.
Yes.
Why,
Yes. It's
why do
like,
I have to go to her so she can teach me something? Or
yes.
make sure she takes care of me the right way?
Right.
Right. No, it's not about that. It's
Mm-mm.
about human to human contact.
Human to human, and that's the thing. Human to human, we are all human beings, we are all spirits, we are all beautiful souls, and when we can see through that lens, that we all know something someone doesn't, period.
Correct.
Every single person knows something that someone doesn't. So we always have something to learn from everyone.
100%. And even people with disabilities have their own lived experiences. So my experience is not going to be the same as somebody else's.
No, no,
They
not at all.
haven't lived the life that I have lived. They haven't worked in the arenas that I've worked in. And some of it has been disability oriented. But then I went and hid in a treatment room. I'm also a wellness practitioner.
Yeah, yeah.
And I hid in a treatment room for years and I didn't come out of my shell. So
I am so glad that you came out of your shell because, Roxy, we need you in this world.
I
We
know,
need your
right?
light.
I was public speaking as a disability advocate back in 2006 through like 11, 12. And then it all kind of went to yuck, fell apart.
You know, that
And
that makes me think, for 14 years I owned a fitness studio.
Okay.
I owned a brick and mortar building, lots of square footage. I had 9 associates. We ran
Right.
classes all the time. So to have a a business in that industry for that many years, that's an accomplishment. I'm very proud of that. But it makes me think of when you had talked about like these standards and these
Yes.
expectations, because do you know that when I went to the doctor, like I always went and got my physicals, made sure everything
Right.
was good because I beat my body up basically, but I was so fit but so solid of
Mm.
muscle. Just, I mean, you could see my abs through my t-shirt, I mean, I was just like rock solid on the chart. Because I'm under 5 feet, I'm like 4'10" and a half, 4'11", but on the chart I was obese by pounds, by weight standard. They didn't take into account anything else, body fat percentage, my
Okay.
my physical condition, my health, but I was considered obese. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes they look at these like, who makes these rules up? Who
Ah,
makes these standards up? Because if
right.
you're going to say that you're this and you're born this and you're
Right.
you're on this chart of some sorts, and yet
Right.
I'm sitting in the doctor's office knowing that there's not a ounce of fat you could pinch on my body, but I was obese. And so it's just like really, so when you said that, it's like these standards that people put out there and these metrics that are printed
Right.
on a one for all chart, like, come on, every situation and human being
Unique.
is unique. And so
Unique.
that was one of the things that popped in my head when you were mentioning that. Like, yeah, at one time I was considered obese because of my height and my weight,
Mm-hmm.
but I was the most fit in my life I ever had been. So it's crazy.
It's wild because
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I laugh and I giggle and I don't give up, but I laugh
Mm-hmm.
and I giggle because for some reason you don't understand what I'm talking about, what's going on with my work. So you're afraid to hire me to do something
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But take 2 minutes and have 2 to 30 minutes and have a discovery call and find out.
Yes. Yes.
Because there could be so many benefits there,
Mm-hmm.
but you're afraid to because you don't understand that I use that standard, that word.
Yep. Yep.
And it's like we miss out on so many opportunities
Yes.
when we
Yep.
do that. Like we
Mm-hmm.
miss out on interacting with people.
Mm-hmm.
And even people with disabilities, because of their self-esteem, misses out on interacting with people and going for things because they're like, nope, I'm just going to give up. Nobody likes me.
You think it's just that fear of the unknown, like that
Both
wraps
ways.
around everything,
Both
So
ways.
yeah,
It's the
yeah,
fear that they're going to make fun of me. They're not going to like me. I'm not going to be understood. I'm not going to be seen. I'm not going to be heard. They're just not going to like me and I better not.
yeah.
And then it's the fear of, well, I don't understand. And because I don't understand, I might say something offensive. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, I'm sitting at a table, networking event. We're all in cocktail attire.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody looks wonderful. It's a great evening, right?
Yeah.
There's like tons of coaches in the room. So the coach is always telling about the spiel, right? The moment I tell about my spiel, guess who gets fidgety, awkward, and uncomfortable? The stellar executive high level coach on burnout. So I said, well, I can relate to everything. As soon as I say I'm a wellness practitioner, Fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, I made them a little bit uncomfortable, but I was making the point.
Yeah.
And the way that I made them uncomfortable is I said, well, I put a signature statement on everything. And I ask for something and it's ignored often because people are uncomfortable. And well, what do you mean? And I said, well, I always say that this is going to be a great article for embracing disability and nobody comments on it. Nobody says a word. I said, this would be a great article here, contribute here. Oh, I did that. I'm so sorry. I'm like, I'm not asking you to be sorry.
Yes.
This is my coaching. This is me educating you that disability is okay. That disability is not something to be fearful.
Yeah.
That but you felt so comfortable sharing with me everything about your coaching. But the moment I'm sharing with you about my coaching, oh, I don't know if I could talk about that. Right? And so it's so funny and it makes you giggle because it's like we're all doing the exact same thing. We're elevating what we do and who we are. But because mine is so far gone and far known in a corner over there that just needs to be covered up for a while until maybe I might understand. But the word coach and the word coaching, and what your specialty is great. But the moment that coaching is something different, whoa, wait a minute. We're not sure here what to do. And why? What is what is that? And why is there a standard? And why does there need to be a double standard? And yes, I was not trying to be rude or disrespectful, but it's true.
Yeah.
I'll bring up, well, come to my thing or come to this or talk to me about this. And it's crickets. But I'm told that you're told that you're inspiring. You're told to go and work with that disability person over there. You're told to do this and to do that. And it's all good and okay. But the moment you say you're a coach around disability education, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Yep. They're not signing up for that one.
No. Wait, what? No. Now, it was okay when I was a job developer because at least I got people a job. And the other great comment is you're so inspiring. Good for you that you do this.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is beautiful. It is great. But yet, isn't it part of life and society? And so, I mean, I don't have the statistic, but I can find it. But 1 out of 4 people, I do know this statistic. 1 out of 4 people are disabled in the world. And it's the only minority that any of us can join.
Wow. I read somewhere too, and this was a long time ago, that because I'm under 4'11" as an adult, I'm 4'10" and a half, I'm like legally considered a dwarf. Is that still a thing? I mean, that was like years ago. That
so we would have to research that
I
one.
would have to research that now. I feel like I remember reading that like in my young teenage years, or no, young adult years, because I was already like I was like this in 4th grade. I stopped growing in like 4th grade, but I'm little.
There could
I'm
be
short.
A dwarfism record somewhere that you qualify for the ADA.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, when you say that, it's like depending on what you're looking at, everyone has a thing that makes them different and makes them unique. I mean, it may, like, let's just use that word. We're all unique. So,
well, and even think about all the social awkwardness and anxiety in the world. And that's not some kind of a barrier.
Yeah.
And that's not something that we can like knock down and break down and pick apart and try to see how people could benefit from that. If we actually realize that all of us, raise your hand, every single one of you might have a family member, might have been, diagnosed, may have been labeled at some point in your life. So why do we have to hide and shelter it? And that's why, Elena, when you told me that this was something that was possible, I just was like, how do I not? Here's an opportunity that would allow me to be myself.
Yes. And to me, it's like, how could I not? I mean, it's like,
Right?
where, like, I guess, that's why I said, like, you see a human being, you see a person with a
Mhm.
message, you see a gift that God created, like,
Exactly.
and that's it. That's all my eyes are
Mhm.
capable of seeing. So to me, it was like, oh
Those are
my gosh,
beautiful
yeah.
eyes.
Just, yeah, have a show, get your voice out, get your message out, interview
Mhm.
people, let's talk about it. Absolutely.
Right.
Hmm.
I mean, why not do something like this? I mean, it's ridiculous not to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that I'm high verbal is, and I sometimes I just don't feel like I have enough time during the day
Hmm.
to go and do the live on live
Hmm.
and get that done. But this forces me and says, yeah, I can do that live. I can do that interview. That's easy. Let me just go and book somebody. Let me just go and get that taken care of,
Hmm.
and make these interviews happen, because I think these interesting dialogues are powerful.
Yes. 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 People need to hear this.
Mm-hmm.
People need to hear this, and people need to know that they can come on here and talk about it, or that they can come
Yeah,
on
and
here and do
yes,
it.
safely,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
comfortably,
Yes.
happily, with joy
Yes.
and wonder and fun.
Yay.
Right? Joy,
Yep.
wonder, fun. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why wouldn't we want to do that? Why wouldn't we want to have a safe place to do that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah.
so I just think that and I do say what
Mm-hmm.
we're doing is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing is very powerful.
Yes.
And who knows, maybe there's going to be the intellectual disability show, and like
Mm-hmm.
in show number 30, show host, and
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
there'll be another show about something else. But I'm blessed that God's using me as the voice to lead that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. You're the pioneer paving that path, and being the example. And that's
Hmm.
important. Somebody's always got to go first,
Yes,
and might as well be you.
might as well be. Yes.
I think we talked about that not too long ago. Like, why not you? So whoever's watching, like, why not
Why
you
not
go
you?
do the thing? Somebody's got to always go first. And I always like to say, anybody that works with me knows this. Whatever you're doing the first time out, consider it a shitty first draft. Everyone
Oh
has to have a
God.
shitty first draft at anything that they're doing. It's your first time. No matter what it is that you're doing, it's not going to be
100%.
perfect, but you can't improve, or you can't better anything. You can't,
Mhm.
advance or excel, like, unless you get that shitty first draft out the way. And that's
And
in
it
everything. Yeah.
and that's in everything. And it doesn't matter if you have a disability or not have a disability.
No, no.
All of us are, and especially as entrepreneurs, we're all trying. We're throwing paint on the wall. We're figuring it out, and we're like, yeah, I don't
Yep.
know. What?
Yep.
Wait,
Yep.
I
There's
don't
there's
know.
a there's a few tags that stick with me. When you're in my sphere for a while, you hear them all. And the one is like, oh, let's try it. See what happens.
Right.
You're never going to know. And that's, when people are like, how have you built so much? I got Besitos Beauty, I got Surrender to Rise, we got
Right.
events, like, I do this and that. And it has always started with, well, let's try it and see what happens. And that's exactly what happened with Prospera TV. And here we
Hmm.
are. We like to be in 17 countries, and we've only been live for like three months. That's like 12 weeks. Like,
That's
that's
like
more than a
12 weeks
country
of
a week. You know what I'm
that's
saying? It's
12 weeks
like,
of nothingness. We have no idea, and here's the fun, and in so many ways I feel like I mirror with you a little bit, and I wander around in your footsteps, and then sometimes I'm walking beside you, with you, and behind you and in front of you, because
mm-hmm.
I have embracing disability, I have embracing wellness, I have embracing what's possible. I'm launching Roxy's, my new adaptable clothing line. I'm getting
Yes,
into retail.
congratulations. That's amazing.
People are already asking me questions. I think this is going to be a hot seller.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we have to. We have to try it. We have to embrace what's possible. We have to be curious. And I want everybody to be more disability curious. Could you all just take a few minutes and be disability curious? What does that mean exactly? What do you
Yeah.
think that means, Elena?
Well, I think to ask questions. To me, I think there's something that either we've been instilled in or instilled in us at a young age or something. Okay, like for example, you see a little kid and someone's coming by and they're in a wheelchair. Okay, the little kid doesn't know and is going to ask like, "What happened to your legs?" Or the little kid's
Right.
going to ask, but then the parent's going to be like, "Oh, don't
Right.
don't say that. That's kind of rude." Or so we're taught um somewhere in there to like not even like let's just not place any light on it, let's not acknowledge it because oh my gosh, like that might be rude or that might make them uncomfortable, when the reality is you're fully aware you've got this thing. I'm fully aware I am who I am and I got this thing, and it's like we need to just ask each other and
Right.
realize that we're not going to push a button when you're
Mm-mm.
genuine and you're
Mm-hmm.
truly interested in
Mm-hmm.
knowing the answer. Ask the question. And somewhere I think that we have gotten this programming that if you even acknowledge it or you try to ask a question, it's like going to be received wrong or taken wrong
Mm-hmm.
or push a button or be a trigger. Or but it's like if you're going to ask the guy in the wheelchair if it's difficult to be in a wheelchair, do you think he forgot he's in a wheelchair? Like you're not going to tell him something he's not aware of all the time. So, and that's just like a example, but
Sure.
I think we've been kind of taught or programmed or it's
Right.
been instilled that we just don't say nothing. We're just going to
Correct.
pretend that everything is, we don't see. And I don't know why. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know why. And I think what we could do is ask questions and realize that by asking questions, it's you genuinely want to answer to help us understand. You're not going to
Correct.
get pissed off or it's not going to like
No.
push you in a
I'm.
spiral down or something like. And I think we just need to know that. Ask the questions. If you're
Mm-hmm.
curious, ask the questions,
And I'm happy to share. I'm happy to explore, and but the only thing that's going to piss me off or trouble me
Mm-hmm.
is when you insult
Yes.
or
Yes.
degrade or
A
make
big
fun
one
of.
for me is even assume. When you
Oh, make
assume,
assumptions.
yes,
Oh,
to
Roxy, do
me,
you need any help?
mm-hmm,
Is it okay? Are you doing okay on your show? Do you need to have somebody support you making all of your show guests, making those appointments for you? Is that hard for you, Roxy? I'm just saying an example of
yes,
something that might be patronizing, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
No, thank you though. That's very kind of you. But
mm-hmm,
today I was on a conference call with somebody, and you know what they did ask?
mm-hmm.
Hey, Roxy, this is your group, and I really want to make sure I'm accommodating here. Could you kind of take a closer look? And I said, "Oh, you want me to put on my consulting hat?" She goes, "Yeah, and if we work with businesses, I'm going to bring you aboard." And I said, "Well, that's really wonderful." So see, that was inclusive.
Yes,
That was partnering,
yep, yep,
and then the other part of that conversation, and again, and I'll reiterate it the last time because it's the most important to me,
mm-hmm,
is don't assume that I don't know what I don't know, or don't
mm-hmm,
assume that I'm not capable of doing something, and please don't assume that it's too hard for me because I'm doing too much.
yeah, yeah.
you know um, you know why don't you celebrate with me and ask me how I do it all?
Yes. Or
Like, that
trust
might be a
or
clue.
or trust that you will recognize if it
When
comes
I
to
need
that
help.
point and ask for help or be
Right.
able to take things off your own plate. I mean, like surely you can gauge, you know, where you're at and what's working and what's not, and having
I've
those
been running a
honest
business.
conversations. There's been
Yeah.
times we've had conversations where I'm like, I don't think we need to go there like right now. Like pace it out.
Exactly.
So, but it's not saying that you're not capable. It's not saying that it's not
Right.
possible. But it's like
Slow it down, sister.
just see things from different perspectives. But I think we can all benefit from that. You
Well,
know.
and I mean, I've been doing a business for 10 years. So, I'm sorry, but like, if I have been capable enough to, like, I ran somebody else's business and didn't get paid for it. you know, and so I've been running my massage company on and off for 10 years.
Yeah,
And so
that's like fitness. Like that's a
it's
celebration. That's a
huge.
big deal. Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, you know, we must kind of know what we're doing, lady,
Mm-hmm.
special lady,
Mm-hmm.
if we can run these businesses for quite some time.
Yes.
Elena, you are a gem, a kind heart, a joy, a pistol. We're both little firecrackers, aren't we? We're both little firecrackers,
Yes.
and you know, we're out there doing our thing. I cannot thank you enough for doing what you're doing for us in the world and for being on my show today, you
Thank
know,
you for
and
having
having
me.
this really lovely and important dialogue because I really think we poured into this audience today and gave them a lot of insight.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show. It was my honor.
It was my honor. Equal honor, girl. Equal honor. Yeah. So if you are interested in talking about being disability curious, do you have a disability? Are you curious if you even think you might? Do you want to have a dialogue with me? I am open to DMs and conversations, virtual hugs, coffee chats, and you can apply to become a show host. There is a note on Prospera Network, Prospera.com network.
Prospera
Um,
TV,
oh,
Prospera TV
Prospera
Network.
TV.
Yep,
But if you
prosperitvnetwork.com. Mm-hmm.
beautiful, and if you go to embracingwhat'spossible.com, it's actually on there with a link to and how to get to our show. And be on the lookout because we're going to be celebrating some of our other show hosts and we're going to be sharing shows and talking about the quality work that our peers and colleagues are doing in the world. Get to know Elena, reach out to her, reach out to me. If you want your own show, I think it would be very wise to talk to her. If you want your articles published, don't forget to go to embracing-disability.com, contribute. We are always looking for articles, and don't be afraid to write. Even if you don't understand disability, you might have some questions that people can answer, and then we can answer them live. So be disability curious, be interested, and keep learning because all of us have so much to learn from one another. And additionally, keep growing and being who you are. Thank you for joining us again today for episode number 5 on Embracing What's Possible with Roxy. And I cannot wait to catch you next time. Don't forget to reach out to us because we're always waiting to support you in any way we can. Thank you again, Elena. Have a good day. I'm embracing what's possible, heart open wide, where fear used to whisper, now love is my guide. I'm not just surviving, I'm setting the pace, wearing my story with shimmering grace. From shadows to spotlight, I rise and I sing, embracing what's possible, changes everything. This is your Prospera era, where dreams align with grace, abundance flows like rivers. You've stepped into your place. Rise, reign, and remember, you were born to shine. Welcome to your moment, Prospera, it's time.
We hope you enjoyed today's show on Prospera TV Network. Make it a point to visit us on YouTube and catch all your favorite shows anytime you want. Interested in hosting a show of your own? Or advertising your business on our network? Contact Elena Rodriguez.